Have you ever met someone who seems completely calm on the surface, while everything inside them is screaming? They smile when they want to cry. They say I'm fine when they're falling apart. They can sit through the worst news of their life, and you'd never guess anything was wrong. These are the people who hide their emotions, masters of the poker face, champions of emotional suppression. And today, we're going inside their minds. This is the psychology of people who hide their emotions. If you've ever done this yourself, or loved someone who does, stay until the end because we're going to talk about why they hide, what it really costs them, the hidden personality traits that drive this behavior, and most importantly, how it can quietly destroy a person from the inside and what can actually help. Hit the like button if you've ever forced a smile when you didn't feel it, and let's dive in. Section 1. Why do people hide their emotions? So, first question, why do some people become emotional vaults? Reason first, early programming. Big boys don't cry, stop being so sensitive, don't air dirty laundry. Many of us heard these messages growing up. For some children, showing emotion didn't just get ignored, it got punished. Tears led to ridicule. Anger led to abandonment. Sadness made parents uncomfortable. So the child learns a survival rule: if I show how I really feel, bad things happen. Therefore, the safest thing is to never show it. Reason second. Cultural and gender conditioning in many cultures, especially collectivist ones. Emotional restraint is a sign of maturity and respect. In individualistic Western cultures, men in particular are still bombarded with the strong, silent type ideal. Research from 2022 in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that men who score high on traditional masculinity scales are 60% more likely to use expressive suppression as their main emotion regulation strategy. Reason third, trauma and attachment wounds people with avoidant attachment styles. Roughly 25% of the population learned very early that emotions make them vulnerable to rejection or engulfment, so they build a fortress. Childhood emotional neglect (SEN) is another huge predictor. When no one mirrored or validated your feelings as a child, you conclude that feelings are irrelevant or dangerous, so you just stop broadcasting them. Reason fourth, perceived payoff: hiding emotions can work short term. Get praised for being level-headed, professional, chill. You avoid conflict. You don't burden people. In high-stakes jobs, surgeons, soldiers, lawyers, CEOs, emotional suppression can literally be part of the job description. So hiding emotions isn't always weakness. Sometimes it's strategy. Section 2. The personality traits of emotional suppressors. Not everyone who cries in public is emotionally healthy, and not everyone who never cries is damaged. But research consistently shows that chronic emotional suppression clusters with certain personality traits. 1. High conscientiousness plus high neuroticism. The repressed profile: these people feel everything intensely, but believe they must control it perfectly. They score high on self-discipline, but also on anxiety and guilt. 2. Alexithymia. Literally no words for emotion. About 10% of the population has clinically high alexithymia. Every time you inhibit an emotion, your sympathetic nervous system still activates. Heart rate goes up, cortisol spikes, but you block the behavioral release: crying, yelling, even laughing. You get all the stress chemistry with none of the relief. A landmark 12-year longitudinal study by University of Wisconsin 2021 followed 800 people and found that high use of expressive suppression predicted 35% higher risk of early death, 30% higher rates of heart disease, significantly faster cellular aging, shorter telomeres. Your body keeps the score even when your face doesn't. In the brain, chronic suppression shrinks the anterior cingulate cortex, emotion regulation, and thickens the amygdala threat center, literally rewiring you to feel more threatened while having fewer tools to calm yourself. And the scariest part? Other people can smell it. Research from 2019 showed that when someone is suppressing strong emotion, observers rate them as less likable, less trustworthy, and more cold, even when they have perfect poker faces. So the very thing they're doing to be accepted often backfires. Section 4. The hidden costs in relationships. Suppressed emotions don't vanish. They leak. You get passive-aggressive. You stonewall. You explode over tiny things months later because the pressure cooker finally blows. Partners of chronic suppressors report feeling lonely in the relationship, even when they're physically together. A 2023 study in Journal of Marriage and Family Therapy found that when one partner habitually suppresses emotion, relationship satisfaction drops by an average of 42% over 5 years. Children of emotionally suppressed parents often grow up with the same pattern or swing to the opposite extreme and become emotionally explosive. And the suppressor themselves? They often end up with emotional burnout, a state where you feel nothing at all, numb, empty, like you're watching life through glass. Section 5, is there ever a healthy version of this? Yes, there's a difference between suppression and strategic restraint. Healthy restraint equal to I feel this strongly, but this is not the right moment or audience, so I'll process it later in a safe way. Unhealthy suppression equal to I feel this strongly, therefore it's bad and must be buried forever. The key variable is whether you eventually allow yourself to feel and express the emotion in a safe context. Journaling, therapy, a trusted friend, even screaming in the car. Researcher James Gross at Stanford calls this cognitive reappraisal plus delayed expression, and it has none of the health costs of pure suppression. Section 6, how to start unhiding practical steps. If you recognize yourself in this video, here are evidence-based ways to start opening the vault, slowly and safely. 1. Name it to tame it. Start privately labeling emotions with as much precision as possible. Instead of I'm fine, try I'm disappointed and a little ashamed. A 2022 UCLA study found that affect labeling alone reduces amygdala activation by up to 50%. 2. Create micro moments of vulnerability. Tell one safe person one true feeling per week. Start small. I actually felt really anxious in that meeting. The brain learns safety through repetition. 3. Body first, words second. Suppressed emotions live in the body. Try trauma release exercises, intense workouts, yelling into a pillow, or crying on purpose to a sad song. You don't have to understand it first. Just let the body move it. 4. Therapy modalities that work especially well. Internal family systems IFS, excellent for people who dissociated from emotions. EMDR or somatic experiencing for trauma-based suppression. DBT, emotion regulation skills for people who fear they'll flood if they open. 5. The 90-second rule. Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, most pure emotional chemistry only lasts 90 seconds if you don't feed the story. Try riding one wave without pushing it down. Time it. You'll prove to your nervous system that feelings don't actually kill you. So here's the paradox. The people who hide their emotions are often doing it to protect themselves and the people they love. But in the long run, the most protective thing you can do for your health, your relationships, and your own soul is to let yourself be seen. You don't have to become an open book overnight. You just have to stop locking the pages forever. If this video hit close to home, do 2 things for me. 1. Share it with one person who needs to hear they're not alone. 2. In the comments, tell me, anonymously is fine, one emotion you're carrying right now that nobody knows about. Just naming it here can be the first tiny crack in the vault. Thank you for watching. If you want more deep dive psychology like this, subscribe and hit the bell. You're not too much. Your emotions are not the enemy, and you don't have to go through this alone. I'll see you in the next one.